As we get closer and closer to the release date of Bumblebee, I think it's safe to say that Transformers fans have been the most excited since probably the first movie ended when it comes to the live-action portrayal of these characters. And Bumblebee, if it's a success, is it possibly going to lead to more spin-offs and a possible reboot? And let's talk about this. So look, I think I've talked about it before. Transformers is one of these franchises that I grew up with. Before I ever found out Marvel or anything, it was Transformers, Ninja Turtles, He-Man, and Robotech. And Transformers to me has always been something special, you know, like playing with the toys and watching it early in the mornings and everything, and then Beast Wars and then Beast Machines, but then Robots in Disguise, which was my first real exposure to anime, and I was like, wow, this is actually pretty good. I like this. So if you know me, you know my experience with anime, so it's kind of even shocking that I'm talking about it and I love it so much. So with that in mind, with Bumblebee on the way, there's been a lot of discussions on what could this movie do and could it possibly be a reboot? And the way it looks, you know, obviously Bumblebee is on Earth and he's talking to everybody that's on Cybertron, and we know there's going to be a gap of years where Cybertron is still in war, and then they inevitably come to Earth and we get Transformers 1. So this kind of got me talking with some of my friends, and they're like, do you think this could lead to a War for Cybertron movie? Now, of course, the Cybertron games, I think, are some of the best modern Transformers ever. Like, they're really good. Obviously, there was the comics that they're kind of based on, and I think they did phenomenal with those. So when it comes to these, I think there's a really big chance that if this movie's a success, instead of just doing, oh, it's the Optimus Prime origin story, which I think could still happen, there's a really good chance that if there's a good enough response to Bumblebee, and we see it, and we love it, and the reviews are at least kind to it, like I'm talking about a 65, maybe 70-ish, you're looking at a rebirth of a franchise. And in this instance, if they base the movie all on Cybertron, we get what we want, while they also get what they want, which is the proper response. So they could produce the movie for less because they already have some of the, you know, budget taken care of and things out of the way. And it's sort of a rebirth of the franchise because I, like many of you, have already talked about the fact that I'm looking for Bumblebee toys of some of the Cybertronian scenes because I want those action figures because they look different and they look closer to what I expect from Transformers and not the bug designs that have been in the last few movies, which I haven't bought any of the figures for. So I think this is really important, and I think if we get to Bumblebee and we make it a success and it's legitimately a good movie, I think this is where we get the kickoff to that universe that they're planning, you know, possible G.I. Joe and ROM tie-in and whatever else they're going to do, but at the same time, I think Transformers starts leading two franchises, you know, one Bumblebee, and then possibly another one that starts off with the War for Cybertron, and then maybe some more solos in there. Could always do a Prime movie. I mean, I'll watch it. You probably will too.